The Level 3s have been working on famous Canadians, and we would like to show you how they have made an impact on Canada.
Thank you for coming today.
It is a pleasure being here.
So please tell me when and where you were born.
I was born on October 25th in 1997 in British Columbia.
Claire, what are 3 major events in your life?
My first major event is when I played in the Harbor Catch, which was a boys' league. My second major event was playing in the Pan Am Games, and my third major event was playing in the Women's World Cup.
Claire, what is one major obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
The obstacle I had to overcome in my life is when I woke up and my next season I was supposed to play a game, but I couldn't. So I had to sit out and watch my teammates.
Claire, what advice would you give young Canadians?
The advice I would give to young Canadians is try. If you don't try, you don't know what you've missed out on.
Thank you for coming today. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure being here too.
Good afternoon, Melissa Hayden. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Melissa, can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born in Toronto, Ontario in 1923.
Melissa, can you please tell me 3 major events in your life?
3 major events in my life is that I moved from Toronto to New York. The second major event in my life is that I opened up my own dancing school. The third major event in my life is that I married Donald and had 2 beautiful children.
Melissa, can you please tell me one major obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
One major obstacle that I had to overcome was it was very hard to become a famous ballerina.
Melissa, what advice would you give young Canadians?
I would give this advice to always keep trying and always never give up on yourself.
Thank you for coming today, Melissa.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for coming when Gretzky.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born in January 26th, Brantford, Ontario in 1961.
Can you please tell me 3 major events in your life?
My first major event was in 1999 when I retired with holding the top leading goals for points, assists, and goals. My second major event was in 2006, and I became the manager for the Olympic men's hockey team, and we won the gold medal. My third major event was in 2017, and I opened up a winery on the lake in Niagara, and I called it number 99 Wayne Gretzky Estates.
Can you please tell me one obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
One obstacle I had to overcome in my life was when my wife was a part of illegal betting, and people thought I was a part of it, which I wasn't.
Can you please tell me what advice you would give to young Canadians?
The advice that I would give to young Canadians is I think every young Canadian is different. It's important to play new sports, and I think they should just go out and play.
Thank you for coming, Wayne Gretzky. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you too.
Good afternoon, Frederick Banting. Thank you for coming today.
Good afternoon.
Frederick, can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born on November 14th, 1891 in Alliston, Ontario.
Frederick, what are 3 major events in your life?
My first major event was when I created insulin and tested it. My second major event was when I got knighted by the king. And my third major event
was when I created the G-suit.
Frederick, what is one major obstacle you have to overcome in your life?
The obstacle that I had to overcome was when I got shrapnel in my right leg.
Frederick, what advice will you give young Canadians?
The advice that I would give to young Canadians is when you do something, don't give up on yourself.
Thank you for coming today. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Good afternoon, Mitch Marner. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Mitch, can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born in 1997 in Markham, Ontario.
Mitch, can you please tell me 3 major events in your life?
The first one was when I was 4. I was the athlete of the week on television. The second one was when I joined the London Knights. And the last one is when I got a 5-point streak in the Stanley Cup.
Mitch, can you please tell me one obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
The obstacle I had to overcome in my life was I couldn't play hockey for 4 weeks because I fell on my ankle.
Mitch, what advice would you give to young Canadians?
The advice I would give to young Canadians is if things are going well for you, don't forget about others.
Thank you for coming, Mitch Marner. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you too.
Good afternoon, Karin Kain. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Karin, can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born on March 28th in 1951 in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Karin, can you please tell me 3 major events in your life?
My first major event was when I graduated high school and joined the National Ballet of Canada in 1969. My second major event was when I became a principal dancer in 1971. And my third major event was when I became the National Ballet of Canada's artistic director in 2005.
Karin, can you please tell me one major obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
The major obstacle that I had to overcome in my life is that it's very hard to become a prima ballerina.
Karin, what advice would you give young Canadians?
The advice that I would give young Canadians is even if you don't reach your goal, keep trying.
Thank you for coming today.
It was a pleasure being here.
Good afternoon, Denis Shapovalov. Thank you for coming today.
It is a pleasure being here.
Denis, can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born in 1999 in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Denis, what are 3 major events in your life?
My first major event is when I was 16 and I won the Junior Davis Cup title along with my fellow Canadians Felix Ogre, Elias Seam, and Benjamin Seguin. My second major event is when I was 17 and I won the Junior Wimbledon Grand Slam title. My third major event is when I was 18 and I was ranked in the top 10 professional rankings.
Denis, what is one major obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
An obstacle I had to overcome in my life was hot temper. This has stopped me from reaching my full potential. I have been working with a psychiatrist on this.
Denis, what advice will you give young Canadians?
The advice I would give to young Canadians is something's never over until it's over, so keep fighting until the end.
Thank you for coming today.
It was a pleasure being here.
Good afternoon, Rob. Stewart, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Rob, can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born on December 28th in 1979 near Ismarada, Florida.
Rob, what are 3 major events in your life?
The first major event is when I was 18, I received my certification as a scuba diver instructor. The second major event was in 2006 when I launched Shark Water and was awarded one of Canada's top 10 features of the year. And my third major event was in 2012 when I launched Revolution, and they also made a companion book called Save the Humans.
Rob, can you please tell me about one major obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
The obstacle that I had to overcome in my life was when I was 23 and trying to save sharks from shark poachers, I got arrested.
Rob, what advice would you give young Canadians?
The advice I would give to young Canadians is to protect animals and nature for a better future.
Thank you for coming today. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure having me.
Good afternoon, Joseph Brant. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Joseph, can you please tell me when and where you're born?
I was born in Ohio in 1742.
Joseph, can you please tell me 3 major events in your life?
Well, my first is when I fought when I was 13 in war. My second was when I had 9 kids. My third was when I got 4 tribes to fight with me.
Joseph, can you please tell me one obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
The one major obstacle I had to overcome in my life is when my dad died when I was really little.
Joseph, what advice would you give to young Canadians?
The advice I'd give to young Canadians is war isn't a game. You're fighting for your people and country.
Thank you for coming, Joseph Brant. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you for letting me come.
Good afternoon, Briar Nolet. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Briar, can you please tell me when and where you were born?
I was born on December 27th in 1998, and I was born in Toronto, Canada.
Briar, what are 3 major events in your life?
One of my major events in my life is when I got a part in this major TV show and I was one of the main characters. My second major event would be when I went into this dance competition and I made it past 5 rounds, but then I got caught on the 6th round on April 13th. And my third one would be when I went on a tour with Jennifer Lopez.
Briar, what is one major obstacle you had to overcome in your life?
One major obstacle that I had to overcome in my life is when I had epilepsy. I was diagnosed with epilepsy, so it was hard for me to keep control of my body while I was dancing.
Briar, what advice do you give young Canadians?
I would say to never give up and just be yourself and never give up on your dreams.
Thank you for coming today. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you too.